So here's the trig derivatives. They're beautiful. Negatives, cos's are anything with c's, starting with c's are negative. Anything that doesn't start with c is positive. Good teaching skills. Okay, I may have forgot to record. It's fine. Example 1. Could have been worse. I could have done example 1 first. Now remember, you have to get your brain wrapping around this is things multiplied. When I have things multiplied, I have to use product rule, right? You have to get your head wrapped around that, because if not, people will go cos x times 2x. And then they'll say, I'm done. Now it's just two derivatives of both of them. That's not actually how to do this question. This question is a product rule question. Two things multiplied, it's a product rule. So here's our f, here's our g. F prime is cos x, and g prime is 2x. So y prime equals f. Nope, that's what it normally is, but I told you to go g first. G times f prime plus f times g prime. You can stop there, or you could go, they could go in your textbook. So here we have x squared cos x, and then 1 times cos x, so plus 1 cos x, which is cos x, and then plus 2x sin x. That is an S. Oh, thanks, Lord. Now, if I have to do the second derivative of this, what would I have to do? Product rule. Derivative of this one. Product rule. You're going to do two things multiplied. So if you have to do the second derivative of it, you have to extend it. Or you could do product rule plus product rule. Right? To get the second derivative. All right. Example 2. Find f double prime pi over 4. What does that just mean?
The second derivative of pi over 4.
The second derivative, and then just fill in pi over 4 for the x's, right?
Or
It's
still
just,
using the one from before?
nope, I'm going to give you a different one. So it's still second derivative, and then you're filling in pi over 4, right? 4, this one's way easier. If f of x equals secant x. Well, kind of easier. I want you guys to try to find the second derivative. Go. Try this one out. So f prime of x is what? Secant x and tan x. And what do we have to notice here?
It's multiplication.
It's multiplication. So we're going to have to do product rule. He was going to.
I don't know why that came to mind. That was like great.
Okay. So they will use values that are from your unit circle in the sections that have no calculator, right? So you still need to know your unit circle. It's not going to go away. So we do f, g, bias please, f prime is secant x tan x, and then g prime is secant squared x. So we get g, which is tan x, times f prime, which is secant x tan x, plus, so g f prime plus f g prime, secant x, secant squared x. Now, this is what I have to drill home to you. So people will be like, I don't know what to simplify. I don't know what to do. And then they're expanding and they're doing all these things. The moment you're given a derivative with a value like pi over 4 or 2 or 7 or 9, do not simplify. Plug the value in. Like the moment you do product rule and you literally just have your product rule, just plug in the values, get values, answer it. Because the error that happens is the people trying to GCF, or the people trying to make it more simplified, or the people trying to expand it. I love when they give me a value for x, because that means I just write f or gf prime, fg prime, fill in my pi over 4. I don't overdo it. I don't simplify. I don't make it prettier. I just plug in the pi over 4 and get values. Okay? So I'm going to go f double prime of pi over 4. So it's trying to get you guys to stop trying to make this better. Don't. Just plug it in. Okay? So tan of pi over 4 is one they give us all the time because it's just what?
1.
Good answer. Then we have secant of pi over 4, which we'll deal with in a second. And then we have tan of pi over 4 again, which is just 1. And then we have secant pi over 4. And then what's the secant squared x just mean?
Just write it out twice.
It means you have it twice. Now, this is where people get these confused. Secant squared x, I told you, this here, there's no way you could type that into your calculator like that. This is a caveat. The only way you can type it into your calculator is either go secant x, like you were saying, write it out twice, or secant x, the whole thing squared, because that's what it means, right? It means the whole thing squared. As opposed to this, secant x squared. That's just the x squared. So your pi over 4 would be squared. They're very different. If the squared is between the x and the secant, it means the whole thing squared. Now some people will say, well, why can't I do that in my calculator? I want to. Because the moment you press, like, let's say tan, if you want to do tan squared x, the moment you press tan, your calculator does this. Shunk. Where you can't arrow your way back into here and putting in a 2. Like, it ain't happening. Okay? So you literally can't put it in like this. All right? Okay. Pi over 4 is secant of pi over 4 is cos pi over 4 flipped, right? Cos of pi over 4 is what? Root 2 over 2. So secant is? Yeah. So it's 2. It'd be it'd be 2 over root 2. It's just nice if you do it because they'll cancel. You'll just get root 2, right? You'll get 2, root 2 over 2, which is root 2. So this is gone. Secant of pi, well, I'll just write it out. 1, root 2, 1. Why did I not write this one? Secant pi over 4 squared. So plus root 2 times root 2 squared. What's root 2 squared?
2.
Yes, we get root 2 plus 2 root 2, which is
3 root 2.
3 root 2. You know what we just found? The point of inflection. We just found, well, not the point of inflection, we found a coordinate on the second derivative. So we found pi over 4 comma 3 root 2. So we found a coordinate on the second derivative graph.
So at every single time that this graph would cross over a coterminal pi over 4, that's the y value.
Okay, write these down as your questions. Now, these are the easy trig ones because they're all like tan x, secant x. Because if I go secant squared x, or I go secant x squared plus 7 in brackets, that's a chain rule question. You haven't learned it yet. So this lesson only involves tan x, sin x, cos x. They're way easier. Okay? So, it's section... I mean, yay! Love the sports. Makes me positive. Happy. Section 2.5 AP practice problems. This test is on chapter 2 and chapter 3, just so you know. When we're done chapter 2 and chapter 3. It'll be beginning of month.
Come in sometime next week.
It will not be next week. It'll be the beginning. It will not be next week. No one should be here. It will not be the week after that because that's me. And I won't be done all the stuff. It'll be the beginning of March. Okay.
Oh, really?
So,
I just told Mr. Ginger.
these are going to be out of order. So don't write them till I'm done. I said these are going to be out of order. Just wait.
It's basic.
Yep.
Set W100. Yep.
Yeah, that was me. I was crying.
Do a side thing.
Did you get to it now? I was like, yeah.
Oh, look at that. Oh, sorry. I just scrolled.
Oh, wow, look at that.
You're welcome.
Great.
That's that on the right.
There you go.
It's almost like it's.
You can write 1 to 10.
That's